Hi guys.
Hello.
Welcome to you want to introduce it?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Consistency Code podcast. Very excited to be here. Long awaited. So,
We'll
let's
start off
introduce ourselves. You guys probably don't even know who the heck we are. So, my name's Bella,
and my name is Trutha.
and we are two bikini bodybuilders. I am also an online fitness coach. I run my own online fitness coaching business, and you may know me as the Costco girl or the Starbucks girl from Instagram at FitXBella. And you,
Yeah, so my name is Trutha. I'm also a bikini competitor. I've been competing for 3 years, competing now. It's been three, has it? Yeah, this is gonna be the third year. Been bodybuilding for like 4 years. I'm not a fitness coach, but I am in school to become a registered dietitian. So all around just very fitness, based. So it's fun. I love it. But yeah, that's all about
eat,
me.
sleep, breathe, fitness, bodybuilding,
Day and night, guys, every day.
literally. You said you've been competing for 3 years?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the third
Yeah.
year, but I'm not competing this year, but like third year competitively.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're about the same timeline then because I did my first show 3 years ago. Wait, it's 2026. Yeah. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, almost 4 years ago I did my first show. That's
Okay, I
crazy.
think you've done it longer than me than I think, actually.
Yeah, my first show I did the Lee Brandt, which was end of March 2022, and then I took a year off.
Mhm.
And then I did two shows in April of 2023, and then I took 2.5 years off, and then I competed again last year.
Okay, yeah. So you've been competing longer actually than like by like
Yeah,
a year for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I did um my first show and second show both in 2024. Took 8 months off, did two shows in 2025, and then this will be 2026, so the third year is this year. Yeah.
Hell
Did
yeah.
four shows. You have a lot of shows under your belt. Oh, hey, tell us about that.
I do. We definitely racked it up last year.
Mhm.
Last season, 2025 was a year to remember. That's for
But
sure. If you guys don't know, I did 6 shows last season. They were
one
all
season.
actually within the span of 12 weeks of each other. So it wasn't like a super long, drawn out season because my first show was May 31st, and then last one was middle of August, like August 15th or something. Original plan was only to do 4 shows, finished with 6, but it was a really, really good season. I knew going into the season I wanted to compete in both the open and natural streams. In the CPA, there's like open untested and the tested natural stream. So I knew I needed to do 2 regional shows and 2 pro qualifiers. And then last minute decided to hop into another regional, which is where Rutha and I actually met.
Our love story, actually, if you
Shout
will.
out
Yeah,
TNT.
TNT. Yeah, it was such that one was a good show for meeting people, I would say. Like that's where I met you. That's where I met another girl who I still keep in contact with. So that one was a really good show. For that. It was really
Yeah,
well done actually.
really
But
well run, really good vibes. Yeah, it's actually crazy. I decided to do that show, I think, literally like a week out. I text my coach and I'm like, so,
so this is the show we're actually gonna do. Yeah. But
yeah.
she did
He's like,
great.
I'm not
So
even peeking you for it. We're just walking on stage. Like, I'm like, okay, it's
it was
like
a good
already
call. It was
ready, so may as well.
some shows that people do like without peaking and last minute always end up being like really good shows. Because my first
Mhm.
ever show, I wasn't supposed to do it. I wasn't peaked ever, whatever, and we did it. And then a week and a half after was my original planned show, which was the Fuad. That one was really good, but then it was like a local show, the first one, and it's just a little get your feet wet, and those are always fun. So
Mhm.
she did really good in that show. She ate, I
Oh,
fear.
did she?
Yeah, she ate. But yeah, it's how we met, and we followed each other after that, like right after the the show, and then I kept seeing her prep and like do her shows, and then I joined her channel. And yeah, we've just been involved since then.
We've just been attached to the hip, honestly, guys, since then.
I was watching, guys. I was watching, I was cheering on, and I saw actually a reel that said like bodybuilding is so weird because you'll meet a girl you've never met before who will cheer louder than anybody else. And I was like, that's true. That's
That's
true.
so true.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love the bodybuilding community for that exact reason. It's like you don't even know the person, you may not even have met them, and they are cheering so loud for you. And I can't think of any other sport where that happens. Like,
Yeah.
community is unmatched.
And I played basketball for like the majority of my life, which is a team sport. So it's like this is super different, but it's still like the support is so much more, but like in a different sense too, because it's like
Hmm.
a sport, right? So, but it's
Yeah,
involved, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to take this time for this podcast to, ask some questions that will let you guys know how our 2025 season was and what we learned, what we would do, wouldn't do, and all that. So, the first thing I'll ask you, Bella, is from your 2025 season, like what was the biggest lesson you learned, especially from doing so many shows back to back, like things you might have learned about your body, shows, literally anything.
The biggest lesson that I learned, I would say, from last season is like no show and no peak is ever going to be the same. Like you may think that like after your first show, you've got it figured out. Um, that was not the case. Like just when I thought that okay, like we had a peak figured out and like that was going to be how it was going to be for every single show, I was proven wrong. Let me tell you, every single peak looked different for me, whether that meant like manipulating like different carbs, different fats, or whether it was like water, sodium, even like training was different every single peak week. And it was just really cool watching how my body responded to all of these different protocols and how we brought a different look every single show. And even though I only had like anywhere between like a week and 3 weeks in between shows, it was like crazy how much of a difference we could make with my physique. Yeah, I would say the biggest lesson for me was just like learning so much about my body and how we were able to, yeah, make such big improvements in such small amounts of time. And every single show, we did get better, which at the end of the day is what was important for me. I wasn't going into any of these shows with any crazy expectations. Like ultimately, I just wanted to be myself and bring my best every show, and that's what we did. So yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. And also, because I didn't even have like all of these shows planned out, I was really just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Like I had the 4 shows originally planned, but my last show of the season, like I did summer shredding, and so that was a different federation from the rest of my shows, and that was just the last minute, like, okay, let me just change my flight home from Toronto and stay in Toronto another week to do summer shredding.
Yeah. What federation is that? Sorry, because I never checked. What
I think it's just their own like summer shredding league. I don't even know if they're an official federation yet, but have you heard of Alpha Elite?
Yeah, yeah. I know it's
Okay.
theirs. I never
Yeah,
knew.
so
Yeah.
it's like Christian Guzman's bodybuilding
Hmm.
league. And they are expanding really quickly. And I will say the prize money in summer shredding is crazy.
You'll see that a
So,
lot of these individual shows that are not like very mixed in, their awards are so much bigger.
yeah,
And it's really good for the athletes, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's always nice to see for
it
sure.
is. It is nice to feel valued as an athlete and, feel like, yeah, you're getting something back at the end of the day. 'Cause anybody who competes knows it's not a cheap sport.
Yeah, when people ask like, "Oh, like, so what'd you get? Like, how much do you earn?" Actually, we pay them. Actually,
Actually,
I pay to be there. Yeah.
bodybuilding does not pay the bills. Actually, it does quite the opposite.
Oh, it does the opposite actually. Yeah, but it's worth it if you love it. It makes sense, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a shock still. But yeah, but you ended up eating like with each show, like just eating more and more into each show. And
Hmm.
I think that was like the craziest to see from like an outside perspective too, how your body was just holding up from each show to show. So
Yeah, I mean, like for TNT, I remember I went into that show eating like almost 400 grams of carbs every day and peaking on like 80 to over 100 grams of fat, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And
it's crazy.
um, yeah, one thing I learned as well is like I do actually need a lot of water to fill me up as well, which is like the opposite of what I would say a lot of people
Yeah.
believe when it comes to bodybuilding. You know, like there's this stigma that we cut water
Mhm.
before a show, which I mean, depending on the person and the division they're competing in, I mean, maybe some people have to, but at least for bikini, I would say for the most part, like we do need water going into a show. And so, yeah, I was having like water was never cut. I was having like multiple liters a day going into the show, and then probably like a liter and a half before getting on stage on show day, which,
Mm.
yeah, is quite a lot.
Just data, guys. See.
Yeah, data. I know. Really, really cool. What
Yeah.
about you? How many shows did you end up doing last year? Was it three?
In 2025, I only did two.
Only two.
Two. None of them were planned. Like the last one I did was like something that I was looking at previously, but like originally from the start of our 2025 season with my previous coach, who I'm not with anymore, we looked at to qualify through the local show and then do a June show, which was the Toronto Super
Hmm.
Show.
Yeah, okay. I did that one.
Yeah, so that was our original plan. Things didn't work out. I had like the timing was just not the best for the first half of my prep for that show. I was just really under a lot of stress and just all of that. So we ended up moving my show, and that's when I did TNT. And when you talk about like data and things like that, that's such an important thing, especially like, when you're doing multiple shows at a time because you need to know what works and doesn't work, right? So that you know apply the same mistakes that you did last time or do things the same if it worked, you know what I mean? So a lot of things that we did for TNT, I kind of saw and saw what it did to my body, and then I could say like I'm not gonna repeat this again and I'm not gonna do this like moving forward. And then the show that we did 12 weeks after was the what was it called, just Toronto Pro, I want to say Toronto,
Nationals, Canadian Nationals.
yeah, Canadian National Pro Qualifier. Yeah, I always get those two like mixed up because they're
Yeah,
both, oh no, but
same venue,
yeah,
same. Yeah,
everything. Just different banner, right? But
yeah,
that one, my protocols, everything was so different for that show. And it was still hard. Like it was still as hard as like prep is hard, obviously, but it was still as hard as my first prep, but in two different like ways. It
yeah,
was mentally challenging. It was physically like demanding. Oh my gosh, like I don't know how I didn't break, to be honest with you, but it was so different because I was proud of what I walked on stage with, and our again protocols were so different, and I was with a different coach, so I learned new things about my body, like what works and what doesn't. How you had like a lot of water on show day. I think I sniffed water that day, but
yeah,
yeah, I drank a lot, but like day of, we knew like, hey, like to keep your waist tighter. Me personally, like that's my biggest thing is if I do push too far on show day, my waist won't stay tight, right? So things like that we took from TNT and applied to like Toronto, which was really good. But the biggest lesson I learned was that it was when things don't work, like you have to understand not to try them again and like listen to your body, right? So,
and yeah, I would say that that's why it's so important to stick with a coach long term as
mm,
well, or at least keep track of the data show to
yeah.
show, and like literally make a notes in your
Oh, yeah.
phone just on like your own peaking data because yeah, that is like it is so beneficial to keep track and keep record of what worked for you and what didn't work for you. I mean, like we just mentioned, like I had water. For you personally, you don't need a ton of water.
Oh,
Like it's really so individual dependent and
yeah.
like dependent on the day too. And like um even in peak week protocols are like constantly being changed on the fly. Like, hey, how do you look after meal one? How do you look after meal two? Like it,
Mm,
you can't even create a protocol ahead of time because
Oh yeah. It's on the spot,
Constantly
right?
changing. It is. It is. Yeah. Um, so on the note of show day, what is your go-to post-show meal? This is always
Um,
a fun question I like to ask people.
this is such an interesting one because like we see the trend all the time because I don't want to say this and be like looked at like girl, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Because like we know like not to take a bunch of like shit backstage and like just go off during post show, but I'm so sorry. I will always have my post show cookie. Plural cookies. Okay, let me not lie. Okay, it's
Plural.
not one, it's multiple. I did stop from like the fat 2 pound cookies and like became normal and just have like 0.5 pound ones, you know? But like sweet treats are my post show thing. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm feeling like pizza or I'm feeling like nachos or a steak. I will first want something sweet.
Yeah, I'm with you on the cookie train. The sun is shining so bright in my eyes right now. I'm with you on the cookies.
Yeah, I saw your Biscoff one and I was inspired actually. I did it right after.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Biscoff is my weakness. Biscoff anything. I'm
Mm.
so
Oh,
happy with. So yeah, I did actually get a funny story. I at my final show of the season, I bought a Biscoff cookie from one of the vendors at the show. And I put it in my show bag. And when you go on stage, you obviously leave your show bag like backstage unattended. There's multiple
no.
people backstage. But you know, you trust people
They
not to
take
touch your
it?
stuff. Obviously, although I have heard of some girls having issues with other girls like taking their like rice cakes or like snagging some honey or like whatever it is backstage. Anyway, that's
I've never heard of this, really?
really I it's never personally happened to me, but I've
Oh,
heard of this happening to other girls. But anyway, the show's done. Like I get off stage and this Biscoff cookie is like the only thing I've been thinking about all day, and I am like rummaging through my suitcase trying to find this cookie. I'm like, oh my God, like I have this other one that like doesn't even interest me anymore. I'm so solely focused on the Biscoff cookie and I can't find it. I can't find it. And I actually almost have a meltdown backstage
yeah.
over this cookie I can't find. I'm like, I swear
I would
someone took
cry
it.
too. I would cry too.
What?
Like, I would cry too because like
Yeah.
it's not just a cookie. Like you're
It's
you're
not,
starving, and I'm gonna
if
have that.
you know, it's not just a cookie at that point.
Yeah,
Like that is, yeah, that is your reward, honestly, for the
yeah.
whole season at that point. Anyway, good news, it ended well. It was in fact in my suitcase the entire time, and clearly I was just blind. But it's funny, I have this video that my teammate took of me, like almost having a breakdown over trying to
I
find this
saw it.
cookie. Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah, because it does feel like your reward after. And again,
it
people
is.
don't like that word like reward and it's food, but girl, like it is. I just got off stage after 20 weeks of shutting up. I need that cookie
Hmm.
immediately.
I
Yeah.
will say the one perk of doing so many shows last season was that I was constantly getting refeeds and post-show meals. Like after every show, I was able to go have a meal. I didn't go off the rails, but I was able to go have a meal, which definitely helped satisfy all of my cravings. And yeah,
It hits so
so
well.
at least that prep was broken up a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm
cookies
glad you're on
and
the stage.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Sweet over savory. Always, always.
always, always
Yeah, but same, like on the same topic with that, because obviously you guys know after show we have people think it's just okay, prep and then off season, right? Like you get to have
like
your
back to quote unquote normal. Like,
right, yeah. So it's like you get to have like your food and you're like, hey, like that's it, and then you guys just gain weight back and that's it. But people don't know until they truly go through a prep and do shows that there is this awkward stage post show and then before your off season. Yes, there's your like reverse, but like mood wise and everything and like just motivation, it's just non-existent sometimes, and it usually happens to first timers where it's called post show blues. You know what I mean? And that's just where you'll sit stuck and you just kind of it feels a little bit just this dark cloud constantly following you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so
yeah, it just feels like you lack direction. in
Yeah.
your life a little bit. I would say because you've had this end goal that you've been working towards for,
Yeah.
12, 16, 20, 24 weeks, however long it's been. And then all of a sudden that day comes and goes. It's like the best day of your entire life. The
Yeah.
dopamine is high, the vibes are immaculate, and then it's
There's
done and gone, and you don't have anything to focus on anymore. And it's like, hey, literally, what do I do with myself now?
And it's tough. Like it is tough.
It
I'm not gonna
is.
sit here and be like, well, like yeah, you still have to stay like locked in. Like no, you have to be in it to understand what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like if
Hmm.
you're stuck. So like I want to visit how, because today like we're going through like certain topics that like we want to talk about, and then we will have like episodes next time where we genuinely do go into everything and what you guys want to hear. But I want to hear how, and this will help other people too, like either first timers or not, like seasoned competitors too. How do you transition mentally, physically from prep to off season smoother or as smoothly as you possibly can? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just reminding yourself that you still have a goal to work
Hmm.
towards. Just because you don't have that short-term countdown and a short-term goal being your show date, it doesn't mean that you don't have anything to work towards anymore. And so what I like to remind myself of is like, okay, honestly, the brunt of the work is done in the off season, and prep is just like the quote unquote fun part, I guess, getting ready for show day. But what you bring on show day is built in your off season and the time spent away from the stage. So for me, wrapping up my season last year, it was bittersweet because yeah, like I had so much fun doing back shows all summer long last year. But then I was like, okay, I know what I need to do to improve, to come back better, and ultimately like get a pro card, which is my end goal. I know what I need to do. I know the improvements I need to make. So now we're switching from that short-term goal of getting on stage to a longer-term goal of um, building a better physique and building more muscle, and bringing my best next time around. And I don't know when I'm even going to be competing again at this point, but you just have to keep reminding yourself that like, okay, you're still working towards something. It's just not as short-term or like I guess tangible as a show date is.
Yeah.
But you have to remind yourself why you got into the sport in the first place too. Like think about the joy that the whole sport brings you, not just prepping.
Exactly, yeah. Like what she said about the long-term goal, that's what's going to help you during the times where you feel like, wow, like I have nothing to look forward to. Because you can't realistically, there are people, and this is a thing where coaches will put their clients through a shorter build just to get them back in prep, and you'll feel whole again, let's say. But that feeling's gonna be back when you're back in off season again. Let's say like you're back to not competing. So the faster you kind of learn, like, hey, if I have the goal of a pro card or the goal to just look different on stage, the best thing you can do for yourself and for future you is think about your long-term goals. Like, I want to be bigger. Mine is I'm afraid, genuinely, like, fear this, okay? Fear looking the same on stage again. And that's not like,
Biggest fear ever.
yeah, and like, that's not saying like hate how you look now or how you did look on stage. No, be
No,
proud of that. But fear getting on stage to look the same because bodybuilding, I'm gonna be honest with you, the majority of the sport is waiting. It's
it is.
waiting,
It's a long term sport. Like
sitting
change
there.
doesn't happen overnight. And I tell that even to my lifestyle clients
Yeah.
all the time. Like you cannot expect to change overnight. You didn't put weight on overnight, you're not going to lose weight overnight, and vice versa too. So, which I guess actually brings us into like how we manage and navigate like our body compositions changing post show too.
Mhm.
And I know that it is quite common, and more common than is actually talked about is like the struggle of seeing your body change post show, and like navigating, basically starving, quote unquote, starving yourself.
Yeah, because you like whether people like want to agree with that or not, it is restricting for a goal. You know what I mean? And so,
It is, yeah. And nobody is going to argue that bodybuilding is healthy. Like it's not, and that's why we don't prep
we're
24/7,
not,
three sixty five days a year.
no, we're not gonna sit here and convince you why it is healthy. That's not our job, unfortunately.
No, no. Unfortunately, we actually do willingly sign ourselves up for this, but we all love it. I mean, you have to love it in order to put your body through that kind of suffering. Everybody's degree of suffering looks a bit different, but
Yeah.
yeah, regardless, like post show, you're not only switching your mindset from like having that short term goal to a long term goal, but you're also navigating watching your body change and put on more body fat. And you know what? It's healthy to put on that body fat. Like we just said, it's not healthy to be stupid shredded year round. Like I'm going to be so free on say, like, I lost my cycle during my prep. So many girls do. Like it's been a battle, like even regulating my hormones post show. But that's why, like, it's not healthy to be stage shredded all the time. And that's something else that you have to remind yourself of.
Exactly. That's a really good one because you can stay stage lean if you like want to and fight for that, but your body is not it's not meant for that, so it will show. You know what I mean? Like it will fight back and it's not just gonna be like, okay, like we're still gonna have our cycle, everything's gonna be sunshine and rainbows. It's not.
Yeah.
So that's why like and like realistically I prefer the fluffier look on myself personally. You know what I mean. I'm not somebody who can keep a lean physique in my off season. I would have to stay on that stairmaster, okay? And
Yeah.
yeah, I would have to
You'd have to
live on.
sleep on that thing.
So what truly helped me personally, like switch my, I want to say like switch my mindset because I still do, I am still human. Like I still do feel feelings when I see my body change from shredded to not, you know what I mean? Because you did work like 20 plus weeks for a body that you're gonna lose
Hmm.
way less time, right? But what helped me is, again, I would rather have some fluff on me and happy and have energy to see my friends, go do things, sleep without being in pain. And that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather that. Like, I choose happiness over, looking myself in the mirror and being like, wow, like, I see an eight pack. You can keep that.
No, I completely agree. Like, I quite literally felt like a piece of plywood at the end of my prep.
I would.
Um,
That's a good one.
like just a straight plank. And so, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would probably assume that our confidence is like peaked when we're super shredded and lean. But honestly, for me, like, I remember feeling like, oh my God, I actually hate the way all of my clothes fit right now because they don't fit.
Yeah, I was gonna say what
Saggy
you're.
bum, like,
Yeah, like it's
that's
not there.
honestly,
Like flat chested
yeah,
more than usual. It turned me. You know.
yeah.
I don't got anything to work with as is, so that was really painful to see.
But no, genuinely, like I feel so much better once I do have a little bit more fluff
Yeah,
on
it's
me.
fun.
And yeah, like with that comes better energy. Like, oh my God, we're actually sleeping well again. Like
And the
I can
glutes.
go out and do things.
And the glutes.
The glutes.
I said it like four times. That's all that goes on up here because prep glutes. I don't care what anybody tells me. Plywood, actually, yes.
Yes.
I look back and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, but so I like to walk and feel something moving back there. I'm so sorry.
I completely agree. Like
It's
watching
peaceful.
training videos of myself in prep, I'm like,
Mm,
that's embarrassing.
it's triggering. It's triggering. Yeah. But yeah, like those are some things like you can apply. Just positive self-talk is like one of the biggest ones, even when it's hard, because it will stick at a certain point. And
Hmm.
trust me, people will not love you less because you're not lead anymore. Or, like you will notice the social media praise slows down when you're not peeled lean, but that should show you like, something about that. So it's not meant to be there forever, and that is fine. But that's always a good thing to think about is off season is supposed to be a fun time, energy, like you're focusing on different things in your life while still growing and getting huge. So, yeah.
Preach. Preach. Yeah, like how good does it feel to be able to go out for dinner and be able to enjoy it and not order a plain chicken breast with steamed
Oh my
veggies? Like,
I used to, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. This might sound horrible, but one time I got a refeed, but I really had like PTSD from eating at restaurants on a refeed when I would be like, oh, like go get like something, okay? Because I don't know what they do back there, like, you know what I mean? So I was like, hey, I'm actually allergic to oil. Not my proudest moment, okay? Not my proudest moment.
no way you said that.
I told them, and they said, "Oh, like what kind, girl?" I started naming shit I didn't even know existed: canola, olive oil, avocado. I looked at them like this. I was like, "I didn't know you guys have that
I
much."
am dead right now.
And that shit came out dry, and I was like, "This is how I know they listen." So like sometimes you have
Yeah,
to pull the strings. Sometimes like it's you have to.
but you gotta do what you gotta do. And prep, like you really have to go that extra mile, which is what prep is about. That's
That
hilarious.
day, so it was like a
That's
win-win.
honestly kind of smart though, because half the time when you ask for your food to not be cooked in any oil or butter, they just don't listen.
Oh, you have to pull some medical emergencies, girl.
Yeah,
I was
you
ready.
know when that chicken breast comes out juicy, juicier than you've ever been able to make it at home, you
You know, there's
know that
some
that shit has some oil.
You know there's some butter in there, so I'm like, take this back. Absolutely not. But yeah, no, those are I got some hacks up my sleeve. They're not very I don't want to share them because people are gonna be like, she's a little bit insane, but it works. And you gotta get it done, you know?
Yeah, you gotta do
But
what you gotta do.
exactly. But while we're on the topic of off season, you said that you don't know when you're gonna come back on stage next. Tell us a little bit of what you're doing this off season, like what you would like to happen in a perfect world, like if
Mhm.
plans like work out and like all that.
Well, bottom line is that I actually refuse to get back on any stage until my glutes have doubled in size, quite literally, because
Yeah.
I'm not here just to compete, you know? I'm gonna say it like I'm here to compete to win.
We're here
And
today, guys.
we have a goal, and so I know, like personally, actually, I would be embarrassed to get back on stage right now, just knowing that like I have not made the improvements that I need to make. My biggest fear, like we mentioned earlier, is getting back on stage looking the exact same. I
Yeah.
would hate for the judges to see me back up there and be like, that's embarrassing for her because she looks the
We
same as when
remember
we
you.
saw her last year.
I don't want them to say, I remember you. No, you don't. I want you to say
No,
who is
yeah, I
you
want
know?
to get back on stage and then be like, wait, that's not the same girl, is it?
Bring her back. Bring her back, actually.
So that's my biggest goal. And I know that's going to take time. So I competed, did my last show in mid-August and it's now mid-Feb. So I've had some solid months of growing here, but that's just, it's not quite enough time to make the improvements and the changes that I know we need to make. So
Actually, I
we,
have a question. Sorry not to interrupt you when you came up to that. So there's this thing like while we're talking about how you just said like that is just not quite enough. You might have answered that like for yourself, but in general, do you think like how many months has it been since August? Sorry? August, September.
September, October, November, December, January, 5. Yes, we did just count on our fingers.
Sorry, did you say five? Because I said seven. Wow. Okay, you're
Wait,
right.
September, October, November, December, January, February, 6?
You said August, right?
August.
So
I
it's seven
competed
months.
September, October, November, December, January, February, 6.
Girl, at this point, forget it. Yes, 6 months.
That's okay.
6 months. Do you think 6 months is sufficient growth time for a competitor? Or what do you think if you coached a person and they're like, hey, like I really want to compete and I think I made the changes that I think, like I've made. Do you think 6 months? How many weeks is that? I'm gonna trigger you again. How many weeks is that? Just 10 weeks. Forget it. 10 weeks. 10 to 12 weeks. Do we think
4, 8, 12, 16, 20,
sorry, are you on
20.
calculator?
It'd be 6 months would be about 24 weeks.
Oh, that's a lot of time. Never mind. Sorry. 10 to 12 weeks. Would you say after that a person stepping on stage would have made that, you know, the changes needed?
So it really depends on the person and their protocols and programming. And I will say the biggest driving factor is going to be whether they are a natural athlete or not, because I obviously enhancements are going to speed up the process a little bit depending on what your protocols are as a natural athlete. However, muscle growth is going to take time, and time in a surplus is the biggest thing as well. And honestly, for anyone, the key driving factor is going to be that you're in a surplus and you're consistently training hard and getting stronger in your lifts and improving your execution. And then also eating in a surplus consistently is going to be the most optimal for muscle growth. But 10 to 12 weeks, I would say, is definitely not enough time for anyone to make significant
Yeah,
improvements.
that's a good point because we hear about this constantly and people being like, this is
Mm-hmm.
what's good enough off season and this is what's not. And I feel like we don't think about who's doing that. You know what I mean? If I came on and let's say my feedback was, hey, you just need to come in more conditioned, but you don't need to make too much changes. Okay, I would understand if somebody got that feedback and went back after 12 or so, like whatever. And
Totally. That's, conditioning is a relatively easy fix. Just
exactly.
lose more fat.
Conditioning is discipline. That's all it is at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So if it's not like you need to grow this or overall, like then it's different because if you need to actually make changes compared to tweaks, then that's where it varies. But so that's why like we can't have the conversation of who is fit to do a show after 10 to 12 or a year. Me personally, I'm gonna be out the whole of 2026. Same thing that you said,
Yeah.
like I don't go back up there without significant change. Like I think like we've learned that I have a good frame, but unfortunately, being you can relate with my height, and that's what I love.
Being a tall girl, yeah, this shit takes longer.
Like
Uh,
to the dot.
5, 6, and 3/4.
Oh, you're shorter than me still.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still tall with me, so it's totally fine. It still counts. I'm
We were in the same class at TNT.
yeah,
We
yeah.
did.
I'm 8, but I'm
Yeah.
5'9", and unfortunately for don't laugh too hard now, okay? In heels, I'm 6 foot tall. Don't laugh. But
Giraffe.
being tall, we need to understand that you need more muscle to fill up your frame, right?
We
And
have more surface area. And
oh, a lot of circumference going on, okay? And we need to fill that out. And unfortunately, that's not gonna happen the same time frame, even enhanced or not. Like I can't do
Mhm.
same, level of changes as a 5'3" girl. Like, you know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
is
definitely not.
but yeah, at the same time, like it's not happening. And with me, genetically especially, I just need to take time on my legs because I get up on stage, my shape is great, conditioning was good, but then it's like you look I love the word airy. Like when I look at myself, I'm like, it looks airy. Like,
Airy.
and it's
I
just like
actually really like that. I feel like that applies to me as well. I
like
feel like you could, I don't know, blow some air through.
it looks airy. I'm like something needs to fill up there. You know what I mean?
There
So
just
I'm like
needs
a
a,
little
yeah,
stringy.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, look
so
at pro men's bodybuilding. They are
mm.
all like 5'5" and
That's what
like
it's
max, like
so yes. It's
short boy
scary.
sport. I mean, the obvious exception being C-bum,
Yeah, talking now.
like classic physique, but
How tall
yeah,
is
for the
he?
most part, like
Because yeah,
the
like
body.
you meet these girls in person, guys. I kid you not. Everybody's like 5'5" and under, and it's like I'm standing there. I'm 5'9". Like hell yeah, when I get up there, I'm gonna look the odd one out because I have so much room to fill out. So I need
Hmm.
about 12 more pounds of muscle before I get my ass back up there. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like I weighed around like on average like around the 117 mark on stage, and I was talking to my friend Emily who turned pro last year,
Yeah.
and she's a little bit shorter than I am, not by much, I think a couple inches, and she was like 124, 123 or 124 on stage. So I'm like,
What I
hey
mean,
girl, you got almost 10 pounds on me, so yeah.
yeah, and
I know what I need to do.
we're the
Go
same
girl.
boat because even if I wasn't 117, I was 120, but like the height's nearly there.
Yeah.
120s hate to see me coming. The second I touch 121, 122, I'm a string, okay? So
Yeah.
like was 120 on stage, and you could tell. You could tell.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, we're not coming back for a little bit, but I'm excited to
No,
grow.
I agree with that. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
aside from just taking the time to grow, like
Mhm.
bodybuilding is a selfish sport. Being in prep is very selfish. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. Even though like yes, you can incorporate some balance in your life to a degree, your energy is just not the same. You're not able to contribute as much as you
Oh,
would be in peak improvement season or off season, whatever you want to call it. So I
yeah.
think taking a year off, taking a season off is always a good thing. Like I plan on traveling this year. I plan on really focusing on my business and putting everything into growing my business as much as possible this year, giving my all to my clients, giving my all to like my friends and my family and being
Exactly.
there for everyone who's close to me in my life because yeah, ultimately like being in prep it is that is your time to like truly focus on yourself.
Exactly. Like we got like 2026, like we do have goals, like Bella said, whether it be, work, financial goals, or,
Hmm.
friends, relationships, family, school. You know what I mean? It's good to get those things in order before you even think about attempting a prep because like if everything's not sorted, the stress you will feel is going to be insane. Take it from
Absolutely.
who face that, not worth it. Because then you're not only just wasting your time and your energy, you're wasting money. You're wasting, like
Hmm.
so much of your time that could be put into something else that now 20 weeks are gone because you're fighting to be on stage, but timing's just not aligning, unfortunately. So it's a good time to just get everything sorted.
100%. That is the biggest tip that I would give anyone thinking about competing for the first time is make sure all of your ducks are in a row. Like
Mhm.
bodybuilding takes a lot from you. It is a very rewarding sport intrinsically, but it requires a lot of sacrifice on all levels.
100%. 100%. And it's nice to kind of hear that from somebody else too, because it shows that a lot of people get it, so it is a thing, you know what I mean? So it's not like people are just talking out of their ass. It is you do want to be stress free, trust me, because at a certain point, girl, I was so because everybody's protocols are different. We had to dig, okay? I could
Yeah.
not drive 2 weeks out I could not drive past 5 p.m. Couldn't do it or else something would have happened. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? So you can't
Oh yeah.
have the balance that you would to have like time to do this, and that. No, you need time to rest, recover. It's not just, bury myself and I'm gonna be looking so good. No, you need to have a free mind, you know.
For sure. And if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice and prep. Sleep is the number one supplement.
Because
So,
you will be lacking sleep a couple
mhm.
weeks out. The 3 hours, that's all you're gonna be tasting. So be
Oh
ready.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I don't have anything else that I'm thinking about so far. Do you? Anything like else you want to visit before we wrap up our first episode?
That sums up our first episode. That was fun talking about our bodybuilding, I don't know,
And
bodybuilding tips, tricks, thoughts, just a general bodybuilding yap sesh.
yeah, kind of visiting everything. And like I
Yeah,
said before, we will make more in-depth, pods about certain things that you guys want to hear
specific
from us.
topics.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
are not in short of any stories, any tips.
yeah,
We
yeah,
got a lot here. Okay.
yeah.
Um, but
I'm
yeah,
thinking next up would be cool to dive into our own fitness journeys and where
yeah.
we started and what got us into bodybuilding and our future goals too.
Oh yeah. And then
Yeah.
if you guys want to ask us any questions about that, now would be the time to, because then we can just answer anything from when we first started to now, and you guys can see the differences basically.
Yes. 100%. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
for tuning in to episode 1. Very excited to keep these
Yeah.
rocking and rolling, and it's really cool that this podcast has finally come to fruition.
Yep.
So, appreciate all of your support.
Thank you so much for listening.
See you in the next one.
Bye.